human trafficking,
Mm-hmm.
little less than abortion, but still like right up there. It's like
right
just
there.
like a tad, just like a notch, like a
Yeah.
teeny notch.
Yeah.
Like if you're like adjusting your volume in your car, it's just like a
yeah.
little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Even if, let's just say, like, even if pedophilia is a mental disorder, that still does not make it okay or
Right.
like justify, like, yeah, like you could say, I don't know, some people I don't know, have multiple personality disorders and they want to, I don't know, one day they love their husband, the next day they want to beat up their husband. I don't know, this is an example. That still doesn't make that okay, just because you can fall back on, well, I have a mental illness, whatever.
So really quick, I just don't buy it as a mental illness. Like I don't buy. I buy it as a perversion. It's the same as, like, we don't say people who are rapists have a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel about. Like I just don't think.
I think it's definitely disordered. I think it definitely, is from the devil, implanting thoughts into people's minds and their hearts, desensitizing people. And so that's why I say, let's just say, even if this is the cause of a mental disorder, it's still wrong. So, like, I don't know, whether or not somebody chooses their attractions or they're born with their attractions, if their attractions are disordered, it's still wrong to act out on that attraction. So I'm just trying to parallel that with, that argument. It could be, I don't know, like a circular thing, like a cycle of somebody grows up watching pornography, they create more pornography, and it goes, back, and somebody else grows up watching it, they create it, and I don't know. But yeah, I know, like, you and I've talked about before, of like, the reason, this is like kind of on topic but off topic, but like the reason why as girls we feel the need to shave our bodies, to be completely a naked mole rat down at in our vagina area, our vulva. I think I completely agree with you when we talked about it once, that stems, like, there's no other explanation, I don't think, that it, unless it stems from pedophilia and from the pornography industry, glorifying, glamorizing that, because that hairless women is just not our autonomy. That is not how our bodies are made.
It's 10-year-olds. At 10 years old, you're hairless. Our grandparents, I promise you, your grandmother, your great-grandmother was not hairless. I don't know her. Anyone listening, I don't know her. I never, watched her have sex, but I promise you, she was hairless. This has come from the easy accessibility.
You mean she had hair?
She was, I'm sorry, she had hair. You're right. She had hair. And the hairlessness has come from the easy accessibility to porn. And I'm going to say this, and someone told me I'm a little harsh on porn. I am harsh on porn. I'm not hard. I don't want to be harsh to people who are struggling with it, but I am harsh on porn, and I'm harsh on the porn industry. I want to say this too. Porn starts off sweet and vanilla. You see this, when you're watching porn, sweet and vanilla, you see this person with that person, it's all fine. It can only escalate. So if you're listening and you have a boyfriend or a husband that is struggling with porn addiction, he needs to go
or
speak.
Girlfriend.
Or girlfriend. Or if you are a girlfriend that's struggling with porn addiction, you or someone you're listening to needs to go speak with someone in spiritual authority such as a pastor, such as accountability partner needs to speak with them as soon as this now. Don't even finish the episode. Don't even finish the episode. Go now. Like,
forget about us. We'll still be here.
We'll still be here, and tell me your testimony because I'd love to hear it. Because no, seriously, like this all, I promise you, I don't like to speak in absolutes, but I believe with my full heart, absolutely, every person that's a pedophile has watched and consumed excessive amounts of porn. I don't like to speak in absolutes. Sure, there could be a person who was locked in a dungeon their whole, but you know what? If you're locked in a dungeon your whole life, I hate to say it, you probably have had some sort of sexual trauma, because if you had someone, you know, locking you in a dungeon, bad example. I can't even think of anybody how you would be a pedophile or have not consumed porn. I can't even think of a scenario where that would happen.
And that's something
from porn.
Yeah, and just to like share about my personal experience, if anyone's listening to this episode for the first time. So I'm actually a survivor of child sexual abuse. I was sexually abused by a family member all throughout my childhood. And I think throughout our conversations of talking about pornography, Mallory, one day it finally like clicked of like, I don't know, unless it truly is a mental disorder, there's no way how somebody wakes up one day and says, I'm going to do this horrific act. And I agree with you. It starts small. Like there's no other way. I think like 100%, it's from pornography being put into the mind, into the heart, being desensitized. And for somebody, and I've heard it before of like, the more you watch pornography and you're involved with sexual sin, you keep needing like a bigger hit.
You
like
need a bigger high.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, with any drug, eventually, you know, I guess your body gets accustomed and then you have to do more. There has to be bigger, better, badder, whatever for that high. And so I think that that's probably how somebody gets into that porn of, you know, raping an adolescent, an infant. And it's sad, and that's from nowhere other than the devil.
Nowhere other than the devil. And the devil has done a fantastic job of making porn seem so normalized. I cannot believe how many men and women now, but I will say this in women's defense, y'all know how pro-woman I am. In women's defense, I want to say it's 70%, I could be totally off, but I want to say it's 70% of women are introduced to porn from their male partner. I will say that. But anyway, the devil has done an amazing job of making it how super normal. The last guy that I tried to start a relationship with, one night we started talking and we literally argued for like an hour and a half over porn, and he tried to convince me that it is normal, that this is what a healthy relationship does. And he even he said, well, if you're insecure, you need to work on your insecurity. That's what he told me. If you're insecure, you need to work on your insecurity because
disgusting.
Over me watching porn, over your partner. So over your partner watching porn, if you're insecure, you should work on that. That's what he told me. The devil has done a fantastic job getting it and making it normal. And this is kind of like off topic, but kind of on topic. This all makes me think. So it's underlined in the article. So it's underlined on our docket and it says exploded to crisis levels online. I think that's so worded in a disgusting way. Exploded to crisis levels online because it is a crisis. And let me tell you one thing. Y'all know I talked about this episode last week, but it is bothering me so much, especially because it's I don't want to say the devil. I mean, I guess it could stem from the devil, but the producers have made it visually attractive. The music is fun. The storyline is actually very interesting. The show Euphoria. They show male genitalia full blown, and this is a high school show. The kids are not in high school though, so I'm sorry, that's not okay. I would be against it if they were in college as well, but it would make a little bit more sense to have the story take place in college than in high school. And to me, it's tiny things like that. And y'all, if I mean,
Zendaya's in this show,
and it makes me cry. I love Zendaya. We'll get onto that. We can talk about that a little bit later. But
no,
I know.
not Zendaya.
I know. Everyone's talking about how great the show is, and I knew the new season was coming out, so I watched the first episode and some of the second, and I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I don't understand how adults can do it. I don't understand. It is so inappropriate. Sure, maybe kids in high school were doing this. I don't know. I was a goody two shoes, but they could have aged them. It's so strange to me. They're not even seniors. They're juniors in high school, like full, completely nude in some scenes, like showing actual, and it's HBO, so HBO, and that's the other thing too. Things like HBO, Netflix, they don't have the same rules that the FCC has on TV. Because y'all remember,
is gay in the show.
So I'll give you a brief synopsis of. So she's technically not gay because she's dating a transgender girl, and I didn't even know she was transgender. I found out she was transgender because I watched a review. I couldn't finish the show. I watched a review of the show, and they mentioned that she was transgender.
Like a boy who became a girl?
Yes, it's a boy that became a girl.
Okay.
So I guess she is gay. Well, but the thing is, here's the thing. I think she's fluid because I'm pretty sure she later likes a guy. I couldn't fully tell. But here's the other thing too. That's a whole nother, the sexuality part is a whole nother
shake
thing.
It up like Spider-Man Queen.
Casey Undercover. I
totally forgot about Casey Undercover.
Over Christmas break, I actually watched a little saga with the cute Asian guy from 13 Reasons Why. They have like I don't know if you remember that. It's like 4 episodes. I sat and watched the whole thing over Christmas break. So we can discuss that show.
I'm so shocked, y'all. But I just want to say, shows like Euphoria, I don't know. I've never watched Game of Thrones, but from what it seems, it seems like there's a lot of sex scenes in there. I don't know. I've never watched it because of that. But shows like Euphoria, even like 13 Reasons Why, we can throw that in there. I don't know. Other shows.
Was there sex scenes in 13 Reasons Why? I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Or at least you can allude.
Sexual. Got it.
You can guess what's happening, when they wake up the next day. And anyways.
Right.
And those shows, programs, movies, not only like, I don't know, glamorize high school, but I feel like young people, I know young people are watching this content and then they're thinking, well, I guess this is what everybody's doing. And because of that thought, they do it because they think everybody's doing this, right? When in reality, everybody's chilling, everybody's at home, eating their goldfish, watching Netflix, hanging with their dog, like not actually doing the Euphoria lifestyle, what it make it out to be.
And so the story plot is about a girl who's in high school who's addicted to drugs, and then there's and I think the plot could actually be really, really good. I think that the music was good. I love the visuals. I like the lighting that they do and the different artistic takes in some of the scenes that I saw. I just saw the first episode and the beginning of the second one. So even from that, I was like, oh, okay, I like this. But it's just so much unnecessary sex. Perfect example I can think of, Degrassi. Did you ever watch Degrassi?
No.
So Degrassi, couldn't watch it when I was in high school or middle school or elementary school. But eventually I watched it as an adult. It's all on YouTube. And there's a scene where Manny, one of the main characters, she gets drunk and she lifts up her shirt and she's like doing all this, and one of the guys like filming it, blah, 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 right? My perfect example is we didn't see her breast, but we knew what was going on. Like we knew that he filmed it. And then the next day there was consequences for him, which I also, something too, I like that. He was shamed for filming her, but that's a whole other conversation. So, we see that, we didn't see it, but we knew what happened. They can say Mary Sue and Joe went to their bedroom and got it on. They can even do a pan of them under the covers, and we get it. We get the point. We understand. There was a scene where one of the girls had filmed like a sexual scene. This part, obviously, you should not listen with kids. Sorry about that, y'all. There was a scene where they showed on the phone, they were all watching one of the girls, she had made a porn in high school and had been sent around the school, and the guy was showing him, and all the guys were like, oh yeah, but okay. They didn't have to show us the porn. We could get that the guys were, we understood the plot, we understood the message they were trying to relay without having to show us. We've gone way off track of
I've heard it one
ahead.
time. At one time I heard kind of like a summary of this pornography chastity talk, and one point was, even just shows like that or scenes like that, it may not be the traditional classification of pornography, but that even that is pornography.
Yep.
And I agree, and that's why I try to stay away from things like that. I like The Bachelor, y'all, but I look away. I turn my head, I close my eyes. Anyways, but I think it just starts small. Euphoria, Game of Thrones. Oh, this is fun. Wow, I like the way I feel. What's that website again? All the boys joked about in high school. Haha, I don't know. But it starts small. There's a crack. And then some people may feel like, well, no turning back now. But I also want to share this message of like one time, like there's this Instagram page that I follow that their sole like job, their purpose of that organization is to track down these like online pedophilia, like pornography distributors, and to arrest them, or like even the abusers themselves, the traffickers. And they'll post like pictures of the guys. I don't remember if they blur their faces, but kind of just to show like, hey, we got this guy, he did this, and now he's, gonna be locked up. And one time I commented on one of the posts of the guy that they arrested, and I said like, may God have mercy on his soul, like something like that. And then somebody messaged me back like, there's no mercy for people like this, or like something like that. And I guess it's hard to think in that way, that even someone who has done something so horrible also deserves mercy. But I just want to share that message of like, that the greatest sinner can, become a saint, and that they can give their life to God, have a conversion or a reversion if they grew up Christian and fell away, that it is possible, and that God can use that story for his glory. Ooh, that rhymed. But yeah, I just want to share that of like, even, the pedophiles, the sex traffickers, the whatever else, that yes, that they all deserve mercy, and that they have till their dying breath to accept Christ and to repent. So it is possible. And yeah, that's one of my prayers, especially like for my own abuser, is I pray that he repents. I don't want anyone to go to hell. I think that because of Christ's sacrifice on the cross, everybody, is called to that ocean of his mercy, to accept his mercy. And so, yeah, I just want to lighten that there is hope, there's redemption, even after the greatest and most ugliest sins.
And I want to just add to that, and then I guess we should wrap up this section. And I hope I'm not overstepping, but Melanie really does practice what she preaches. If this is too much, I can cut it out. But when she posted something a couple months ago from I guess it was the impact statement on your
Yeah.
Instagram.
It was the
And
day that he finally like got a judgment from the judge of like, here's the ruling of like how long you're gonna be in prison.
and she like legitimately in her statement, she prayed for him pretty much. She prayed for his soul, and she mentioned like she practices what she preaches. And honestly, like that was very, I cried.
No.
I've only known you for a year and some change, and that was like very, I don't know. She practices what she preaches, and I think that there's a lot of weight to that because I have never experienced anything like that. So me saying show compassion, which is why like there are certain topics like I sometimes like I shouldn't talk too much about, but like me saying show compassion doesn't hold as much weight as someone who hasn't been hurt in that way. But Melanie has, and like the fact that she's saying that, just like to me, that shows maturity, and also too, that's really what the Bible, which I have here because we want to read a verse later today, is really what the Bible is like showing us and telling us to do. So yeah, so I think that's a good note to end this section on. Is like, this is terrible, horrible. We have to speak out against it. But no one is too far from God.
Yeah.
No one.
Nobody's beyond the mercy of Christ.
No one. Yeah.